Hi, everybody. This is Tracing Roots, Telling Tales Tuesdays, Genealogy with Donna, episode 72, The Courage It Took to Survive. The theme is going to be resilience. Seeing strength in your lineage. Our ancestors faced challenges most of us can't imagine. Disease, war, famine, economic hardship, and loss were common realities. I was just reading an article about wagon trains that were coming across the Oregon Trail, and they figured that was about 325,000 people. 20,000 of them perished during that journey, and the most common was disease, was cholera, and they would get it from the tainted water. And that's how it would be. Other accidents would be wagon wheels coming off, wagons trying to do river crossings, and having, running down, tipping over, drowning. But that was, to survive that, to have to bury your loved ones along the trail and continue on going, that's big courage. Survival often required extraordinary courage. Leaving everything familiar behind took tremendous faith and determination. One of the things that happened is that along the wagon trail, keeping that as an example, they would have their cargo, everything we brought from home that was beloved, whether it was grandma's china or a cabinet their dad had made that they wanted to keep. When they had to lighten the load, because of heat or ruggedness, or the animals couldn't carry that much, they had to leave it at the roadside. They had to take it off the wagon and leave it at the roadside. Everyday life was most often difficult. Simple tasks like obtaining food, water, shelter, and health care required constant effort. Now, it would have been awesome on each of those wagon trains to be able to have concession stands and fresh, clean water and shelter and a doctor aboard, or at least a nurse who knew what was going on, who could help. That wasn't the case. When they stopped and decided to create a small town, you didn't have doctors. You didn't have the general store wasn't necessarily there already. You had to have somebody that was going to build it and bring in the supplies. And what supplies do you bring in? Everything. How do you afford that? Where's the rail line? I mean, there's all kinds of things. The resilience shaped future generations. Every challenge they overcame made your existence possible. Let's think about your small town. Okay, you don't live in the big city, you live in a small town. You came from a small town, maybe your parents are from a small town. How did that town get started? Wouldn't it be interesting to go to your local library, or maybe you have a historical office or museum that can tell you about how your town started and what it started with and how many people were there at the beginning of the venture. Their stories remind us of our own strengths. Looking at what our ancestors endured can provide perspective during our own difficult times. Just think about that. I was reminded, it was my cousin Rick's birthday. He is 2 years younger than I, so I believe he's 74. And that was on the 8th. And we were kind of texting back and forth, asking him how his day was. And he was asking questions about our grandfather. And so I gave him Grandpa's full name, and he said, "Oh, I didn't know what the R stood for." And I said, "Yeah, it was, I've always known it." But he knew something I didn't know, that when my grandfather was going to MIT, he had married my grandmother, and it was tough for him to continue his tuition because he was paying for it. And so he would work in the summer. Well, it turned out during the World War I, he worked on submarines out of Boston. What he did, I have no idea. My guess would be more administrative work rather than hands-on, just because I know the kind of person he is or was, and what he was very good at. But that was a chunk of information, a piece of the puzzle of how did he make his way when he was working summer times to be able to pay for the tuition for MIT in the school year. I didn't know that. I know that now. So I can put that into the family tree. And you never know where your information is going to come from. I would like to take my cousin by the ear and go, what else do you know? Because some of us know a little bit about a bunch of stuff. Some of us know a little bit about some things. Others of us are interested in knowing what that little bit of information they have is. And as a genealogist, I'm always eager to glean any information I can about my family and to be able to add to fleshing out the individual's full life. Anyway, that's my information for today. I hope you're having a wonderful week. Take care, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.